sticking to what we have said earlier, the ballot paper design in the 2022 general election will be similar to the 2018 general election, meaning that this is the sample booklet from 2018 general election. That's the layout. There will be, every book will be numbered. Every book will contain a serial number to track the number of ballot papers that have been printed. So in the 2018 election, I believe we had roughly 240 candidates. So the ballot book looked this size. This was the size of the ballot. We had 7 registered political parties, I believe. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we now have 9 registered political parties with 1 application currently being processed. So in the best case scenario, we have 10 political parties. And say they all combined, total number of candidates for the election is 300 candidates. This is what the ballot paper will look like. The size will be, so all the ballot papers in terms of the length will be the same, 420 millimeters, because by law we have to put 20 numbers in one row, sorry, in one column. So I just put the 2018 ballot paper next to the ballot paper with 300 candidates. It's about an inch bigger. The weight for a ballot paper with 300 candidates for 13 ballot books is 7.3 kilos. But if I take it to an example where we have 320 candidates, then the ballot book is about 2 inches bigger than the 2018 one. And it will weigh 7.6 kilos for 13 books. So as I go along, you will notice the increase in weight because paper is heavy. 420 candidates. The size of the ballot book grows by close to nearly half the size of the 2018 ballot paper. That means 1.5 of the 2018 ballot paper with 420 candidates. But you are looking at 9.8 kilos just in terms of the ballot paper. When you look at 495 candidates, ladies and gentlemen, sorry. Yes, 495 candidates. We're now looking at nearly 1 3/4 size of the 2018 ballot paper, but 11.4 kilos in weight. And this is just lifting once. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, as the Honourable Minister has said in Parliament yesterday, with 550 candidates, you're looking at a ballot paper that is twice the size of the 2018 ballot paper. It is also roughly nearly 2 times the number of candidates also. But you're looking at a weight of 12.6 kilos. And 12.6 kilos for a reasonably built person is a difficult weight to firstly lift. It's like the gas cylinder. No matter how much you are at the gym, but when it's time to pick up the gas cylinder, you always give up. So coming back to this, the ballot paper is going to be over 12.6 kilos in weight. Now this, as I have given you the complications already, this has to be transported. And transportation does not only include vehicles, but transportation by human beings and the weight that they have to manage it. So now we come back to the other practicality of things. This is a pre-poll ballot box. Right? This is a pre-poll ballot box. The reason why it is this size is because it is going to hold maybe 200 ballot papers maximum. Pre-poll areas have lesser numbers of voters. But ladies and gentlemen, this box is perfect because it's small, it's lightweight, you can carry this around, it will float in the river, not like the wooden box, no water goes in. But for the 2018 election, we managed to squeeze in 10 books, actually it was what, 8 books, easily. Just to cut it short, if we have 495 candidates in the election, and I have to send 5 books, I can't close the ballot box. Right? And if I send a squished up ballot box, if I send a squished up ballot paper, it is already going to be an issue. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, that's just 495 candidates. I don't even want to try putting the 550 candidate ballot paper on this. There you go. So, and don't forget that there is other sensitive items that will already be in the box. So if I put 6 kilos of weight on top of those items, I wouldn't even run the risk that by the time the vehicle reaches Nosori Highlands, the ballot paper will have crushed something, and I hope it's not the indelible ink, because then the entire ballot paper is ruined because it's already got ink on it. Right. I will demonstrate the same now for you using the election day ballot box, because this is supposed to hold up to 650 votes. For the 2018 general election, we stuck 10 of these books in this box on top of the sensitive materials that are already in there. I shall bring this down. But for the 2022 general election, if I have to put a 12 kilo ballot paper in this box, the ballot paper integrity itself is affected because of the weight, and having to put it on the side. As you can see, whilst it does fit, there is going to be a problem with the integrity of the ballot paper, as you can see already. In the ballot box, I don't suppose it will shake any more than that on the roads. But as you can now see, ladies and gentlemen, the ballot paper has gotten squished out. That means that it is now putting weight on the other materials that are in this box. And 12.6 kilos, the OHS officer might ask me to put a belt before I pick it up. So this box has to be carried by 2 people. In addition to that, I may have now successfully damaged the cartons containing indelible ink and other sensitive material in there. I cannot put the ink on top of the ballot paper, because if it leaks, it's going to go into the ballot paper, so I have to put it under the ballot paper. And because it is a sensitive material, the ink cannot be put outside the ballot box for transportation. So, there you go. It's even very hard to bring it out. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is how the practical aspect of this needs to be considered when it comes to the election operations. And the proposal by the FEO, which is supported by the Electoral Commission, is now before Parliament. The complications are there. Even if someone is saying we will only have 420 candidates, you're still dealing with roughly 10 kilos of weight on the ballot paper itself. And in this box, 10 kilos to be carried is going to be a significant amount of weight. for the staff, and hence we need to consider a practical approach to the cartage of ballot papers in this general election. And I believe some very sporadic language has been used in Parliament to describe the amendments. I believe any reasonable thinking person would review those words carefully, and if the members of Parliament do not understand the complications of carrying these weights, I'm happy to have these placed on their Parliament tables for them to lift and carry for 10 days and give us their feedback. Because I'm hiring roughly 15,000 staff on the day. We don't do a bodybuilding test for staff. Every reasonable person should be expected to be able to carry out the role, and we want that to be an experience that is easy and not putting a strain on them. We don't want health complications after the election and possible complications from that. So that is the amendment that we have asked for, ladies and gentlemen. And if anything, this totally explains to you, and if you want, members of the media, you are invited to please come and carry these ballot papers if you want to the back of the room. It's only 8 meters, and then we'll record your own experiences around 10 kilos with 8 meters. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the amendment that is there, and I'm actually shocked at the language that parliamentarians have used to describe these amendments. Perhaps they really don't know operations in an election. If they are contesting their third election this time, it's even more appalling.